afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is Back to the Window with Scott and Scott right here on the Max Wagers Network. Good to be here. I am your host, Scott Steen, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Rochelle, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
And together we make up just one show here on the Max Wagers Network. We're happy to be here. Happy to be part of the family. So, how's your day going? How'd your day go yesterday? What's going on, buddy?
Overall, pretty good. Yesterday, ended up having a nice winning day. And on top of that, my Nets actually looked really good on national television. So we're going to talk about that game in a little while. I don't know if you had any takeaways from it, but I had a great time for about 3 hours during that game.
Yeah, they looked very good. Very, very good Nets team. So much for the big James Harden revenge game, huh?
Well, I mean, it was the Seth Curry revenge game. That's what it turned into, right?
Yeah, exactly. JC Stone in the house. What's up, JC? Brandon Kubas is here. Brandon wants to know if you're getting a drink in Vegas. Are you going to Vegas? I think he asked yesterday, and I forgot to get to it.
Actually, yes. I haven't. I actually am planning on booking everything tonight, so
Okay.
I will be doing my best to be there. But I actually just got a I forgot what it's called, a Venmo debit card, I think. So I'm gonna probably use that to pay for it.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't think we needed all the details on how you're breaking down the payments, but
No, I think that was just my point. Is that I, for some reason, have just never gotten it. So now I have access to like funds that I just haven't been using. So it's like, all right, I guess I might as well splurge a little bit, right?
There you go, buddy.
It's like accidentally finding a couple $100 in like your jeans pocket that you haven't worn in like, I don't know, a year.
I get that. I was cleaning out my desk. I found $400 in there when I moved from my house to my apartment. Like,
that's the point. It's like, what do? Do you save the money that you randomly found, or do you randomly spend it? You probably randomly spend it because you didn't know you had it.
Absolutely, that's free money right there. Buddy.
There you go. So I'm probably gonna end up spending it.
Cool. James Mounts, Illinois shit the bed. Yeah, it's always nice to lose my play of the day before we come on the air. That's just saves so much fucking time as the. That's why I didn't like him against the spread. I knew
you're stepping in on Chris King's turf.
Yeah, well, I got parlay fever, man. I got a fever, and the only answer is more parlays. Absolutely brutal. So thanks for joining us here today, guys. Don't forget to check out all the other great shows on the Max Wagers Network, and of course, still got our great deal going on with our folks, our fine folks over there at BetMGM. Man, if you haven't taken advantage of that yet, you got to do it. You got to do it. It is such a great deal. Scott, you were saying that you got to do it in every state, right?
Yes, it was actually kind of a fun discovery by me. So, of course, when baseball season, I should have done it already, but when baseball season was officially back on track, so to speak,
right,
I immediately turned to BetMGM because, as we know, those team totals aren't going to bet themselves. So I was already getting some money into an account. But I had an account in New Jersey, not in New York. So I figured they would just let me switch the state, keep the account, and I could just gamble whatever. Not quite. BetMGM made me create a new account for New York, which is actually good because I was eligible for the $1,000 risk-free bet, which I did not think I was going to be eligible for. So I'm pretty sure that depending on which state you're in, if you go to just a different state, you can just have a bunch of risk-free $1,000 bets. Yeah, potentially.
That's the way it sounds to me.
That's my understanding, at least.
Yep, that's the way it works. $1,000 risk-free bet, whatever state you happen to be in. And of course, the way that works, if you win, you win. It's like you made $1,000 bet and you won $1,000. If you lose, they make it good. It's like it never happened. It's just I
think I might have a backup plan where if I end up losing the play for $1,000, I might just sprinkle it on a bunch of different teams to win the tournament. And I'll just get enjoyment out of it, because you can make an argument it's not of course, the most positive EV play to just start gambling on futures with some free bets. But to be honest, if I'm going to watch the tournament every day, which I'm going to, I might as well have something on it. And if I have to spend the money in 6 days before they vanish from my account, I'll be willing to make it worth my while for the tournament.
You know I'm in the middle of an ad read, right?
Yeah. I know you are, but I'm talking about all of this is on BetMGM.
Okay. Super Sly in the house. Big X is here. Anyway, BetMGM, it's cool. You should check it out.
I'll be using it.
That Scott will be using it extensively,
there you go.
apparently. And they're also doing the cool thing on the NBA where if you bet at least $10 on any NBA game, you win $200, man. You get if anybody makes a 3-pointer. So I almost said it automatically. So it's not quite automatic because that would be illegal. They can't really do that. But you got to make it some sort of incentive, and the incentive is to make a 3-pointer. Of course, available only where BetMGM is legal in your state. You must be 21 to play, and et cetera, et cetera. So very good. Tim Earl in the house. What up, Tim? JC Stone. Scott is a great. Wait till baseball season starts. You think he's a great spokesman for BetMGM now? Wait till baseball season starts and we get these team totals. My God. Remember last year we talked about moving somewhere where they had BetMGM.
All I remember is that Luzardo was pitching about every 5th or 6th day, and the team totals for the other team were like 4.5 at plus 120. And I'm just like, what are you doing? And they would have 5 runs by the 5th inning. It was just really a never-ending cycle for about
3 money.
A couple months. Luzardo picked it up late, but especially with alternative team totals, there's a lot of good prices.
Yep, absolutely right. You guys on both channels? I hope so. If somebody's watching this on Winners and Winers YouTube, tell us. And if somebody's watching on Max Wagers, because supposedly they have it set up, I pushed all the right buttons. I'm looking at them right now. Scott, you can verify as well that I have all the correct buttons pushed. We should have all the channels open.
I see that we are on Max Wagers, and we are not on Winners and Winers, but it says it's scheduled.
What?
Whatever that means. I don't know.
Okay. Well, congratulations to all the people watching us on the Max Wagers Network, just part of all the great lineup. Have you listened to all the shows yet, Scott? You should. You absolutely should. At noon Eastern time, it's Midday Money with Sean Higgs, good cat, a lot of good information there. And, of course, our friend Allie Burns does her show Morning Wood every day at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, it's, the king of parlays on a monster run. Doesn't do it justice that on the Chris King and Jim Williams Just Parlay show. And then, of course, it's us. And today on Fridays, it's just us and Chris doing NASCAR. So stay tuned for that. Vroom, vroom at about 4:00. And then we close it up with Game Time Decisions. It's got Nick, Tim, and Lenny. They're getting it done there. We had Detroit Lenny on our Super Bowl preview show. Good cat as well. A lot of good hockey info there. Last-minute adjustments and goalie changes and things like that. So check out our whole lineup here on Max Wagers Network is what I'm saying to you. Tim's on Max Network. Yep, everybody's on Max Wagers. Okay, well.
I clicked the button. I'm hoping that potentially turned it on for Winners and Winers, but we'll see.
Jim, if you're still out there, we're still riding the struggle.
I clicked the button and like the Winners and Winers logo like popped up. So maybe question mark. I don't know.
That's a good sign. Okay, all right. I was a little worried because I didn't see the logo there. I just saw the W. So anyway. Good to be here. A big night for me, Scott. I'm going to go to a concert. It's the first concert I've been to since August. Since I went to see Garth Brooks first week in August.
Who are you seeing?
I'm going to go see Flogging Molly at the Truman here in Kansas City.
Oh, you told me about them like a couple weeks
ago. Great Irish band, fantastic. Best if you like Dropkick Murphy, probably like Flogging Molly as well. It's a great time. I've seen them. I don't know, a dozen times, whatever, a bunch of times. They're fantastic. So.
Are you a guy who gets a decent amount of beer at concerts, or you're just there for the music?
No, I'm just there for the music. I used to be. I just don't care about drinking anymore. I don't like the effects. I drank enough alcohol for 3 or 4 people in my lifetime, and for the last 5-8 years, I'm done with it.
So this is a fun twist. Apparently, according to Tim Earl, we're on Picks and Parlays. So
okay,
hi,
cool.
How's it going?
All right, we're all over the place.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody. Welcome the P&P people, the Max Wagers people, of course the Winners and Winers people as well. So Scott, let's get to it. Let's talk about what happened yesterday, man, because there is a lot of stuff going on. Of course, it's Tom's conference tournament week. We kind of figured that would be the case, but let's find it. Let's make it official, shall we? Of course, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, ring that bell, all the whole drill. And now you got new channels to do it. So if you haven't subscribed to Max Wagers Network yet, please do that, because this is where ultimately we're probably going to be spending most of our time. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to the Max Wagers Network. Let's see if we can get to 14 grand there too. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Looking forward to it. I forgot how close we are. A couple hundred out, I think.
From 14 grand. Yeah, we just
that was for winners and whiners, but still.
Yeah, we just went past 13.8 today, as a matter of fact. So, all right, buddy, let's talk about yesterday when all my troubles seem so far away. It's what is this, Friday? It's the Friday edition. Holy shit. TGIF, everybody. Congratulations, you made it to Friday. And now it's time to call the cops. All right, very good. Let's start off, not surprisingly, in the conference tournaments of the NCAA basketball season. Michigan on the money line. If you had them, you were in great shape with 11:03 left. They led by 17. Oh, Juwan Howard. Come on, buddy. Should have punched somebody because Indiana closed the game on a 31-9 run. Hoo-ah! Michigan loses by 5. See you later, alligator. Wouldn't want to be you right there.
And looking at a similar collapse, if you had Texas on the money line against TCU, they led by 18 points at the half. And the reason why that's important is because TCU only scored 20 points in the first half. So it seemed like they weren't going to be able to make up that deficit. And then the second half started, and Texas forgot how to play basketball. They got outscored 43-20 in the second half. Texas lost by 5.
Brutality. And finally, moving on to the ACC, you had Boston College, Miami of Florida under 139. If you know the drill by now. Fuck, it's overtime. They were 65-65 at the end of regulation. They didn't score much in overtime, but they scored enough to beat you. If you had under 139, this game landed 140. You were thinking you had a chance. Oh, silly rabbit. No, wins aren't for you.
I will give Boston College props, though, because they were so bad in the regular season, and they almost won the first 2 games of the tournament. Good for them. They tried. They're just not very good.
They were capital atrocious is what they were during
the were. And then they turned into, this team's watchable. That was kind of my takeaway from Boston College the last couple of games.
Fair enough. Well, there was some good news out there, and these are the people that had those nice, easy victories. You might have followed our Bet the Farm play, or maybe you followed Chris King and his parlays. But whatever it was, you had nice, easy winners. You had one of those. You had one of those bets where you're kissing your ticket. Yeah, you ever have those, Scott?
You ever kissed have I ever kissed my ticket? I don't know, because I don't really have that many physical copies of tickets.
Right.
Yes,
right.
I believe maybe once or twice.
Fair enough, because when you're kissing your ticket, there's no question. Because
my friends and I used to go to Pennsylvania. I think we used to go to parks on occasion because it was legal over there, but not legal in New York yet.
Gotcha.
So we'd have the occasional road trips. Those, I believe, we would have actual printed out tickets. So I might have kissed a ticket or two.
There you go. All right, you must have been sitting in the rocking chair.
So the first one in hockey, if you had the Avalanche and the Hurricanes under 6.5 goals, you had no goals in the first 40 minutes. So you're in pretty good shape, and the game ended 2-0.
And then it went to overtime, and they scored 7. What? No,
just 2-0. There you go. One team didn't score.
And if you had Iowa minus the Neener, you were in pretty good shape there against Northwestern. They led by 33 at halftime.
How do you give up 64 points in the first half?
You don't play much defense, Scott. That's how you do it.
That's more than 3 points a minute for a team.
Yep, for a team, buddy.
Okay, that's just great. That's just
they end up winning by 36. I think Northwestern was smart enough, because they are smart. So they were smart enough to go, yeah, we can't win this.
Yeah, they beat Nebraska and went home.
Yep, that's pretty much what happened.
And looking at the last one, if you had the Jayhawks minus 9 against West Virginia, you led by 22 points at halftime, and you ended up winning by 24. The fun side note, Bobby Huggins lasted about 10 minutes because he got ejected.
Bobby, what are you doing, buddy? That was the West Virginia team I thought was going to show up the day before against K-State. That's
Yeah, it turns out Kansas a little bit better than Kansas State.
Really? I didn't know that.
A little bit.
I saw the banners that said we own Kansas, so I thought it was the Wildcats. That was the best thing to come out of that case.
They didn't mean in basketball. They meant the deed to the actual.
we found the deed in the safe deposit box. They were lucky enough not to win that game because they had to face KU yesterday, and that probably wouldn't have gone well again.
Would have been fun though for bettors. I mean, we would have had Kansas.
Yeah, probably, because you'd have
at least the over.
You'd have had the KU and the K-State fans in the same place. That would have probably ended poorly. I'll tell you what. You got rivalries up in your neck of the woods, but when you talk about Missouri, Kansas rivalries, when you talk about one state went into another state's town and like burned it to the ground and killed everybody in the Civil War, there's some real animosity there. And they started playing that series like 30 years after the Civil War was over. So there's some bad blood between Missouri and Kansas, and I think it bleeds over into K-State a little bit. It's ugly around here, buddy. That's what I'm saying to you. Hey, let's talk about this. Sometimes we get going on stuff and we forget to do these, but we have to talk about this. And we actually teased it yesterday because it already happened by showtime, but we got to rant about this. Let's find out who is the Friday edition TGIF, everybody. Thank God it's time for the donkey of the day. Maybe donkey of the month here, Scott. Take it away, buddy.
So for this one, we mentioned it yesterday, but we're going to mention it again. It was Syracuse senior guard Buddy Boeheim. Now, if you remember, Syracuse played against Duke. It was actually very competitive. I believe it was a tie game with about 3 minutes to go. However, Boeheim, I think you'd agree, is the best player on the team. Would you agree with that?
I think so.
So he did not play because he got suspended after punching a Florida State player in the first round game. Now, there's a couple of layers to unpack here. First of all, he's the senior leader, so it's a stupid move on his part to get suspended for potentially the final game of the regular season. Second of all, Syracuse almost won the game without their best player, so I think you can make a serious argument if Boeheim plays. Do you think Syracuse wins?
Okay, much better shot, yeah.
I think they got a pretty good shot to win the game. And third of all, which could be the worst part of it, he's a senior. They lost the conference tournament. There's no guarantee Syracuse is going to a postseason tournament because they are below 500. So that might be the last game of his entire college career.
Be the last game of his basketball career.
I think one team would give Boeheim a shot in the summer league.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So it's really just a lot of different elements here. But when your last action ever as a player at a program, as one of the best players of the program in the last decade, is getting suspended for punching somebody in the ACC tournament, that's a pretty awful final note. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. And did you want to bring up the one more point about who he is?
He's the coach's son.
He's the coach's son. Come on. My God. What does that say about your ability to instruct your children when they blow up like that on the court? Also, I'll answer my own question. Thank you. It says that you suck as a father. Sorry. That's the way it works. If you can't instill the basics, if you can't teach the basics of decorum and how to act in a public atmosphere like that.
It was also a sucker punch.
You suck. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
He completely just hit him. I'll tell you what, though.
Hit him in the stomach, right?
From a boxing perspective, decent rib shot.
I've
seen worse rib shots. But
body blow. You remember that game?
Yeah, but of course. But still, it's just one of those situations where as a senior leader and potentially your final game ever, you can't cost your team the entire postseason run.
Agreed. Zach Vaughn saying Syracuse players always act like whiny crybabies when I watch. So does fucking Boeheim. Yeah, I agree. Detroit Lenny says, stop in and hit the like button. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell on Max Wagers Network. Damn right. Detroit Lenny, fine human being right there. And damn good handicapper. So make sure you check out Game Time Decisions with Detroit Lenny and his pals over there. Going to be right after our NASCAR show today. Every other day, it's right after this show. If you have an extra hour to kill, it's 5 p.m. Eastern time. So,
Brandon, I'd say it was a pretty good shot. It was really a weird spot where like the ball went in the hoop. I think it was for a free throw, and he was trying to box somebody out. And then walking back, he just decided to hit him with a rib shot. I don't really know why. The guy hit the ground. I don't think he made the 10 count. So I think Boeheim might have hit him with a knockout blow, but it was a nice shot. I don't know why he did it, but it was really stupid.
Zach Vaughn said all the talk about parenting. How about Coach K's grandson with the DUI?
I don't know if I really roast grandparents.
They got more of a pass because you're getting more influence from other people. But yeah, that's not ideal either.
It's not ideal, but to be honest, in college, I did a lot of, let's just say, drinking before I was supposed to. I'm not blaming my grandparents for that. Like, that was all me.
Dude, I will admit I've had a somewhat checkered past, and I have a DUI on my but I was like 22, and Uber didn't exist. Nowadays that Uber is here, if you're gonna, I have no sympathy at all for anybody that drinks and drives. None.
But
Either
also a
have
thing,
it.
I have never gotten behind the wheel of a car while drinking, but that's also because I personally think it's stupid. I'm always curious when it comes. I mean, I'm not going to go into a full on parenting question here, but I am curious how much when the kid actually joins college or gets older, how much of it is instilled values and how much of it is common sense. Because I feel like common sense told me don't get behind the wheel of a car if you've been drinking, and yet a lot of people just don't have common sense. You know?
Well, it's they kind of go together because you teach your kids how to use and develop their common sense. You
Okay,
teach
I can get behind that.
you teach them what to look for, experiences and things like that. So yeah, I don't want to go down too far in the parenting weeds, but I'm just ashamed of Bayheim, which what are you going to do? It's honestly not that common these days with the college kids. I agree, Max.
Well, it shouldn't be, because
I'm
you can
not
just
sure.
pick up any car. That's like you have
Yeah,
people waiting to pick you up like a block away.
yeah. My kids, and they use me because 3 of my 4 kids are still in town, and I tell them, I don't care to this day. Some of them are a couple, almost 30. I don't care. If you guys need a ride, I'll come get you. And my son is done. I've gone and got my kid and his buddies like 2 or 3 times, and
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm happy to do it.
I think my
Happy.
parents told me that in high school as well. Or like, if you're drinking, call us. We'll pick you up. I'm like, all right, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Common sense is a flower that does not grow in everyone's
I
garden.
agree, Detroit Lenny, but I'm throwing it out there. Like, I feel like common sense told me, if you're not exactly well equipped to drive, don't drive. And yet other people just do it all the time. I don't know.
If you go to Walmart or somewhere, or pick somewhere else if you like Walmart, I don't care. But if you see 2 morons, you can guess that if they have a kid, that kid's going to be a moron too.
Just remember, if you think that you have average intelligence, that means 50% of the people on the planet are dumber than you. Just keep that in mind.
That's a Carlin bit, and that's so funny, and it's so true, absolutely true. So, hey man, let's talk a little sports betting. What do you say? What do you got cooked up for today? What do you like? Of course, we got our favorite play on Bet the Farm. Make sure you stick around and check that out. Scott, this Virginia Tech team kind of lucky to be there. North Carolina laying 2.5. Is that a short number?
Well, North Carolina, of course, ended my, I can't even say dream run, but I had a fun Virginia ticket there to win the ACC. I believe they scored 13 points in the first half. And I have to call out Ken Pom here because I respect Ken Pom. He's done great for me over the years. There is no way Virginia is a top 70 offense in the country, according to efficiency. There is no way. They scored 13 points and a half against North Carolina. They went scoreless for 8+ minutes against Navy earlier this season. Ken Pom, I'm calling you out. There is no way Virginia's top 70 in offensive efficiency. You check the numbers. Maybe you forgot to carry a 3. You forgot to make a number negative. I don't really know what happened there. But there is no way Virginia's a top 70 offense. Anyway, to go back to this game, Virginia Tech has been playing a lot better. But the issue you run into, which happened in the regular season, Virginia Tech is extremely undersized. And with Baycott and with the multiple just big men that North Carolina have, Virginia Tech should get killed on the glass. Now, they are the better shooting team. They will try to slow the pace down, which definitely should help North Carolina. I mean, it should help Virginia Tech keep it close if they slow the pace down. But I really do expect North Carolina to just dominate on the glass. I think I'm going with North Carolina.
I agree. Tim likes Virginia Tech on the money line. I would say that if you like Tech, go ahead and play the money line plus.
I think it's correlated for me. I think if I was going to take Virginia Tech, I would take the under.
Okay.
Because North Carolina wants to run. If Virginia Tech can limit the possessions by just draining the clock, I do think that they can force a lower scoring game that they should cover. But for me, it's really tough to go against a team when you know they're going to win the rebounding battle by 10 to 15. North Carolina should have won the rebounding battle by 10 to 15.
Oklahoma catching 7.5 from Texas Tech. I don't know, man. I got nothing really. This Oklahoma team, I didn't like them. They have played decent basketball lately. They kind of three non-factor teams, but they beat Baylor last night. So
great win for them, by the way.
Is the run over? Of course, Texas Tech, they did okay against Iowa State too. I had to watch both of those games.
Iowa State scored 36 at home against Oklahoma State, and then scored 41 in the first round of the conference tournament.
Yep, 41. Yep.
Yeah, not good. Texas Tech's a team that I still think is a dark horse to win the title. And I know they're undefeated at home, and they're not very good on the road, which is concerning. But Texas Tech defensively, numero uno in KenPom. They are the best defensive team in the country. So I do think they should be able to force Oklahoma into some really ugly possessions. I think I'm going to stay away from the side, though. I like the under. It's at 125, but both teams really love to slow the pace. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma, with the former Loyola coach, also loves to play extremely slow in the half court. I just don't see many possessions. You?
Last 5 have gone under, buddy. And you want to get me involved in a Texas Tech game with a total at 125? Yeah, I'll play that. I'm
just saying, I'm looking at a spot where I'm not going to compare it exactly to the North Texas game today, which landed 70-something. For the entire game, both teams combined 70-something points. But I do question if this game's going to look a little bit like Fresno last night, where both teams are good defensively, they drain a bunch of clock, and you see a game that lands somewhere in the 90s or hundreds. I think 125 is a bit too high.
Virginia Commonwealth -4 over this Richmond Spiders team. You know, this is a Richmond team that about every time they put up a stinker and you go to write them off, they come back and they win, 3 or 4, 4 or 5, whatever. So they had a nice win over Rhode Island. Of course, VCU.
Well, Rhode Island's not very good, right?
No, they're low average, I would say.
I'm pretty sure they lost first round yesterday to Fordham, I believe.
Who did?
Rhode Island. Or did they beat Duquesne? I think they beat Duquesne, actually. I take it back.
Maybe in the first round, yeah.
Yeah, the first round. I think they beat Duquesne, barely, but
they're not very good. Duquesne, one of the few teams that Rhode Island can make fun of.
Yes, that is true.
You like some points with the Spiders here, buddy?
I do not. Okay. VCU is a team that I liked a lot more earlier in the year. It seemed like once conference play fully got underway, they were clearly the, I'd say, third best team in the conference, maybe second, but I'd say third. I personally think Bonaventure's ceiling is higher than VCU's. They were still 21-8, so they were still pretty good this season. But Richmond, I've mentioned it before. I mentioned it when we had Allie on our show. Richmond's a team that when you want them to step up for a big game, they seem to always no-show. Or at least they'll keep it close and they fall apart down the stretch. This seems like one of those spots. I think Richmond keeps it close for a half. I think VCU turns up the defensive intensity. And I think eventually VCU wins by 6. Give or take.
Very good. I will say this. The last 3 meetings between these two teams, Richmond has shot 24%, 18.2%, 15.8% from downtown.
VCU's defense just puts the absolute clamps down every single time,
especially on the perimeter. No question about it. And of course, VCU, they're pretty much going to dominate the boards in that one as well. So yeah, I'll take the Rams there.
It's tough to go against the Commonwealth.
It really is. Don't go against the Commonwealth. Bronco Devil says he never heard about KenPom until now. Yeah, if you subscribe, it's even got more tools. But yeah, it's a must-have for college basketball.
Truth is, especially for brackets, there's a lot of trends involving KenPom when it comes to brackets. I forgot if it was top 10 or top 3. Is it top 10 or top 3 for teams with top offense and defensive efficiency have won the title like each of the last 7 years? Is it top 3 or top 10?
I want to say top 3.
I thought it was top 3. So just to throw that back again, if a team is top 3 in both offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency, you have a great chance to win the championship.
Yep, absolutely. Bronco Devil says was a 1 taking La Tech under 58, 52-36 final. Learned from you guys about North Texas.
42.
What did I say? 52? Yeah, 42-36. Sorry. Yeah, we talked about that land in 78. Should give you guys a commission. That's right. Damn right.
You can if you want to. You know where to find me.
Start that trend.
All I know is that North Texas, I'm kind of sad about for not making the NCAA tournament.
Oh yeah,
but
they'll be in the NIT.
It's a reminder you can still bet team totals in the NIT.
Yeah, so, and there's less sharp action. Yeah. There's less people paying attention to it. The further down
you can really find, especially with motivation question marks with some of these teams.
Yes,
there's a lot of value to be found in some of these minor tournaments.
What are the most important stats to look at with Ken Palm? By the way, we're of course kidding. We love doing what we do. I get more pleasure out of picking winners for other people than I do winning money myself. It's weird, but I know you probably don't feel that way yet. But
I'm being honest. Like I've said it before. If people want to send me something, you can. Like I don't ask for anything.
No, you're good. And it's if you like, and that's why, I have a premium service. So I'm certainly not going to denigrate that. But, if you want more picks, you can certainly get the premium service over there at Winners and Winers. I think it was top 10.
Bronco, you misphrased that. It's not cheap beer. I'm not paying for it. So it's free beer. And I'm in.
As long as he doesn't send something good.
I don't care how much you pay for it. I'm not paying anything for the beer.
You're getting Lone Star, buddy. You're getting Lone Star.
Just saying, everybody knows the best type of beer is free.
So,
the second best type of beer
is there something you look at other than offensive efficiency? I would say they're almost equal, James, as far as the three stats: offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, and tempo.
Tempo is the most important for me because that is almost the sole factor for actual totals for me.
Tempo's huge.
Of course, you don't want to exactly take an over blindly with tempo if both offenses are 320s in offense efficiency, but usually you try to do whatever you can to predict as much as you can about a matchup.
Well,
if you can determine the actual speed that the game is played at, usually you can at least piece together the rest of the puzzle.
See, and I talked yesterday, I like to incorporate basically shooting and tempo into one synthesized figure, and to me, that's number of shots allowed and number of shots taken. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as well, but I look at offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, and the tempo. Now, if you want to factor in luck, I don't know how much credence I put in that because they'll tell you that Providence is the luckiest team in America. All they do is win, baby. All they do is win. So
I don't really factor in luck. Occasionally, I'll look at strength of schedule. Occasionally, but at the end of the day, it all gets morphed into what conference you play in. So, like, you can't really factor that in for that much. I have to go to a different site, though, for rebounding rate. I kind of wish Ken Palm had that, but they don't. So I have to look for a different site there. But the main three for me, adjusted offensive efficiency, adjusted defensive, and tempo. Those are my main three.
And if you're a numbers geek, you can read about how they're adjusted and how they synthesize the true figures down. Detroit Lending with the quote of all time, my favorite beer is the next one. Absolutely. Thanks, JR Black. I appreciate that, by the way, brother. Bronco Devil says natural light 18-pack it is. It gets a natty light, buddy. You're down there. Bronco Devil's in Texas. You're gonna get Lone Star. You're gonna get Lone Star beer, man. That's it.
There are worse beers out there.
Are there? Are you sure?
There are. I don't know if I can fully roast the beer that I want to name, but it's an animal and it's the color red.
Okay. All right. Very good.
You can piece together the rest.
Will the showtime be the same next week during March Madness? Yes, especially since we have a set schedule now. It will be the same. And as far as I know, we're still doing our NASCAR show. Nobody's told us to stop doing our NASCAR show yet, even with the merger. So it was nice of them to leave us that extra hour so we could keep doing our NASCAR show. It was a bloodbath last week. So if you want to
think the NASCAR show, it's not even just about the profits. It's like it might be the loosest form of broadcasting that we actually have. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh, for us, absolutely.
Yeah, for us, of course.
No question about it. There are definitely worse beers out there than Lone Star. Really? Okay. Well, Wiedemann. You have Wiedemann up there in Wisconsin?
No, but I think that might be a good thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm assuming you're not mentioning it because it's good.
There's a Lone Star in my fridge. Okay, fine. All right. Lone Star is great.
Okay. Damn right.
Lone Star beer loves to party. That's for all the old people out there. What else you looking at today, my friend?
So, of course, everyone pretty much only wants to talk about college. I had to play the day in the NBA. I gotta look at Colorado. And the truth is, I kind of like Colorado on the money line. I don't know why Arizona's laying 10, especially with one of their best players potentially being out for the year. If you're not aware of that, one of their best players got injured yesterday. And we've seen teams that might be able to piece together a little bit at some point after missing one of their best guys, they kind of rally the troops a little bit. The first game after you barely beat Stanford yesterday, I gotta like Colorado here. You?
Yeah, Colorado team's playing good basketball right now, and I think it could be a rally the troops situation for Arizona. You kind of worry about that a little bit, but I think it's going to be too big of a chunk for them to cover that number. Bronco Devil says he's got a Shiner Bach. Yeah, okay. I'm all about the Shiner Bach. That's good.
By the way, I'm going to butcher the name, but of course I'm talking about Carissa. I believe it's pronounced Carissa.
Yeah, we've both been avoiding the name.
Either way, the point is, I can't say that he's a great player by any means, but he's definitely been a nice, I'd say, guard, at least for depth purposes. He also had the triple-double against Utah on February 24th, so he's had a couple of big games. At the end of the day, when you lose a guy who you're used to giving a bunch of minutes to, you kind of suddenly have to scramble when it comes to finding new rotations. I would not be surprised to see Arizona look a little bit out of whack, at least for the immediate future.
Agreed. Bronco Devil, Illinois, kill your parlay. Yeah, dude. I always like to start my day with 11:30 game when loses.
I do think if you want a long shot, though, Colorado might be worth something.
Yeah, I think there's a sprinkle on the money line there. Absolutely. Yeah, the Illinois missing toying with their food, playing with their food for the whole game, and then missing the layup at the end was not my friend.
That was the tie or take the lead?
Let's take the lead. They were down
take
one.
The lead, right?
Yep. Sigh. Anyway, that's and it sucks because of course, and because I'm looking, well, Houston's going to lose anyway. No, Houston rallies, they win big, and of course, Iowa's up big over Rutgers after fucking around with them so. Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Bronco Devil.
JC, it's definitely possible that Arizona can continue playing well without him. I'm just saying it is another area of uncertainty that you kind of have to throw in there. I can't just ignore the injury.
Here's my question. Somebody said that Arizona's got nothing to play for. Are they a guaranteed one even with the injury if they lose to Colorado today?
The truth is yes.
Okay.
I think that if they lost to Stanford, I would make an argument no, they'd be a 2.
Okay, winning the
They're
first
29-3.
Okay. All right.
If they lose to Colorado, they lose to a tournament caliber team.
Yep.
Stanford wasn't going to make the tournaments. That would have been a really bad loss. I think Arizona clinched a 1 seed. However, I can't say there's nothing to play for because, of course, the consolation prize of every team is to win the conference tournament title.
Mm-hmm.
So Arizona's still trying to go for some hardware. I mean.
Hardware.
Yeah. I realized. They're trying to go for some hardware on the hardwood.
Some hardware.
Yeah, some hardware on the hardwood. There you
go. Nova minus 2.5 at UConn. Against UConn. It's a obviously neutral site game. This was a home series, man. Connecticut hasn't covered either time. They won the last one, but they just won it by 2. How do you feel about this, bud?
I'll let you go first because you clearly already are leaning one way.
I like this. I like this UConn team. I'm just not. I have more confidence in them at this point than I do Nova. I don't know that they are. I don't know that they're going to win outright. But again, I think it's going to be a 1-possession game. If it's close, give me the points. I'll take the 2.5 with UConn. You?
I think I'm going to go Nova here. I know UConn managed to beat Villanova earlier this season. It involved, I don't want to say a massive collapse by Villanova in the final 45 seconds, but it wasn't good. Villanova's just dominated the series in the last couple of years. And even though UConn is a team that I do like, and I think they're pretty good, Villanova has just had Connecticut's number in previous years. 2.5, I think, might be a bit of an overreaction to Villanova struggling yesterday against St. John's. I think Jay Wright gets back on track. I'll lean Villanova. It's a game I will sit back and watch but not play.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think there's Too many other good plays out there.
I do think though that total seems a bit low. I actually don't mind the over there.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. I was looking here. So Polly is going to play. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to see. All right. 3-7 points plus 116 seems like a farm play. Yeah. Crystal is an erratic shooter. That is true.
I don't think he's a great player, but I do think that it's important when you have a guy who's used to getting so many minutes, and suddenly you throw in a seventh man, and suddenly he's starting. I have to wonder about chemistry with the new lineup. And chemistry is extremely underrated. There's no way to actually quantify it, but I am wondering if the new rotations might take a little bit of time to adjust to.
Yeah, it seems like it goes one of two ways, and you often see this when they're missing like a big man. You'll see them like adjust their style, and they'll
Yeah.
play completely different. And they'll play, and the other team's not ready for it. They don't have tape on them playing that way. Peter Wolf asking about St. Peter's at Quinnipiac, are playing against the Quins, the Quinnipiac.
Well, he's talking about them winning the tournament.
Yeah.
I can't say I mind. The truth is,
Where are we
when
at?
Iona lost,
Just the semis?
I believe so.
Yeah.
The point is, when Iona lost, I'm sure every other team in the conference broke open the champagne because everyone just assumed Patino was going to get back to the NCAA tournament, and they ended up losing. They choked the game away. But the fact that now the big dog in the conference is not there, I don't mind taking a shot with the hottest team right now. I think St. Peter's is pretty good.
Yeah, and they are the hottest team, and they have.
Do you know what St. Peter's is?
St. Peter's. You mean what their
The mascot.
Their mascot is? They're the Peacocks.
Peacock?
Yeah, that's right. They're the Quinnipiac is what, Scott?
Oh boy, I know it's like a tiger. It's a tigerish. It's a cat type of. Oh god, it's not Panthers.
So close. You're in the right.
I know exactly like the family and the logo. I'm trying to. It's the cat family.
It's just the cat family. Yes.
Oh God,
we're gonna have to call time on this. Time is money.
I'm just gonna take
the
a
Bobcats.
guess here.
Thanks for playing.
It's the Bobcats. Okay.
Yeah. Is that what you?
I knew it was a cat of some kind. Damn it.
JC Stone said if Arizona loses tonight, it won't be because of Crystal being out. It will be because of Arizona will back off.
Well, I also just think Colorado's pretty good. So I think that it's not just like I'm blindly assuming they're going to struggle just because. Colorado's also been really good for the last couple of weeks. So I do think that it can go both ways. I just don't think Arizona should be laying 10. It seems a little bit rich to me.
Holy shit, JB. Tips off in 5 minutes. No pressure. Tulane Temple got a couple of injuries here. Who's hurt? Who is hurt for Jalen Cook? His question was, he out? I'm assuming he's out.
I mean, I find it fascinating that Temple was 17-11 and Tulane was 13-14. And yet Temple is getting 1.5 here.
Yep, I know.
It seems like Tulane might be the play on principle. The under would be my play. Totals drop from 138 to 135.5.
Yep.
But it does seem like they're expecting a lower scoring game, and Temple's not exactly an up-tempo team. I don't mind the under.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you there. I would probably go the other way as far as I would lean Temple.
I'm just mentioning the side there does seem trappy.
I want to see, and I want to check those injuries real quick.
Well, the game actually just started, so it doesn't matter.
Really? Oh, no. Such a heartbreaker.
Hate it when that happens.
Good chat. Oh, yeah, it's on the TV in front of me. Sorry. That shows you I wasn't even paying attention. Wyoming able to take out Boise? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I actually did watch the fourth quarter, or not the fourth quarter, sorry, the last 4 minutes of the Wyoming UNLV game. And Wyoming won. It was a rock fight. It wasn't a good game of basketball, but they hit a big three late. I know we keep talking about the Missouri Valley being an under-better's dream in the conference. Is the Mountain West tournament giving them a run for their money? Because if you look at the games yesterday, the totals weren't even close.
Well, that's true. And you've got ridiculously good defenses out there and teams that play at a fucking snail's pace. You've
I
got
mean, even
Boise
Colorado
State.
State's game was like 104
See,
against
that
Utah
I
State.
don't understand because you've got San Diego State, Boise State, Air Force. Who else am I missing that plays slow like that grinds it? Those are
Wyoming plays. Wyoming doesn't grind.
not really.
Um,
Boise plays fantastic defense. They're another great defensive team. I like Boise there.
yeah, I agree.
I was high on the Wyoming train a while back, but I think this defense doesn't tend to go cold. So
I just think Boise has more offensive weapons.
Yep, I'll take Boise. Wyoming beat them up there in Laramie, but I think they get it done in Vegas.
I am keeping an eye on those totals though, because if you look back at yesterday's card with the totals in that tournament, bunch of unders and not even close.
Yeah, keep an eye on the Thomas and Mack there in Vegas with the numbers.
I'm probably going to keep betting unders in there. I mean, until they actually go a couple over, I'm going to keep betting the under.
Beat me. Zach Vaughn says he's going to make a quick trip, be back for NASCAR. Cool. All right, buddy, let's do it. Let's get to it. It is Friday. It's time. It's time to put on those good overalls. Those good Friday overalls. You know the ones, the fancy ones. The buttons are still shiny. Scott, I know you got a pair.
Of course.
Put on your straw hat. Get out your keys. Climb aboard that John Deere, everybody, because once again, for the last time this week, it's time to bet the farm. Thank you, Cash Cow. Scott, how'd we do yesterday?
So we ended up having a team total. We had a Rice team total under 57.5. They scored 17 points in the first half. They finished with 50. Nice, easy winner.
Cue the banjos! Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. North Texas so good even when they lose the opponent team total under cashes.
My God, that's just brutal.
La Tech today.
All right, my friend. Oh, I can't even imagine watching that game. Okay, buddy. What do we got cooked up for today?
So we're gonna go back to college because it's all people want to talk about. And it's gonna be a matchup in the MAC between Ohio and Kent State. And of course, we're taking Kent State plus 1.5 at -110 on BetMGM. It's very rare you see a team that's getting 1.5 points that has won 13 straight games. The Golden Flashes have been one of the hottest teams in the country. They've looked like the best team in the conference for the last couple of months. Ohio, not so much. Ohio has lost 3 of its last 4 games. Plus, Kent State has the better defense, ranks 94th in defensive efficiency according to KenPom. Ohio ranks 130th. And Kent State much better at rebounding. The Golden Flashes rank 69th in a rebounding rate. The Bobcats rank 197th. Kent State, we just think, is the better team. Ohio has been a disaster either in neutral sites or on the road this season. We'll take our chances with the hottest team in the conference, getting 1.5.
OHI, no. Kent State, everybody. That's our Bet the Farm play. Catching 1.5. You know what? You want to play on the money line? I wouldn't hate you there. You want to pick up a little extra scritchy scratch and get yourself plus 120 or so. Knock yourself out. I think that'll cash as well. And that's going to do it for the farm. That's going to do it for the show. As always, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget, here in about 10 minutes or so, we'll be getting ready to take a left, and as we do our NASCAR show Phoenix this week, right, Scott?
Yes.
There you go. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll be joined by Chris King to do the NASCAR. But if you can't make that one, we understand. You guys have a great weekend. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money when you head back to the window. You guys have a great day. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again on Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central.